So how long have you been on the poetry scene, Kat?
13 years.
13. How'd you get started?
I was going to a hip hop spot named Foundations in Pomona, and I was like B-girl in there and stuff, getting in trouble and not getting in trouble. And a Mic and Dim Lights was going to be starting in the same venue as where Foundations was. Mm-hmm. And so Best Cap and JB, who's the DJ at a Mic and Dim Lights, came through Foundations to like pass out flyers and promote that there was going to be poetry. And I'd always written a little bit of poetry, so I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out. So I made a deal with my mom, because I was only 17, that I could go to this poetry venue that started at 9 o'clock and didn't end until like 11:30 on a school night. I could go as long as I woke up for school the next morning. Mm-hmm. The day that I did not wake up for school the next morning, I wasn't allowed to go no more, because I need to have my ass at school. So I went the first time, and there was literally like 10 people. It was just starting, and I did poems that were awful, and they still supported me and was like, you good, girl, we could get this. And so I felt encouraged, and it was the first source of family and community I had in California since I had moved here.
Wow.
And so I kept doing it, I think, more for the family element than the poetry element. Mm-hmm. Just to have somewhere that felt like home when California didn't feel like home to me. Mm-hmm. And then over time, Dim Lights grew, and I grew as a poet under the mentorship of Dim Lights alumni, which included myself. And that's it. The story kind of like trickle effect. You know, you learn of one spot, you go to another, you go to another, you go to another. And then you start doing it more, and then it becomes kind of your life, and then, you know, it becomes your spouse and your breath. So that's kind of how I started.
You're one of my favorite slam poets. Like, you're one of my favorite, you know, you dope. I mean, anytime you are on the stage, it's time to, like, come from the back and, like, see what's up. And I love watching you perform. I really love watching you perform in slam, just because the energy of slam, oh my God, the nervousness. And I'm more nervous than I think you are, or anybody who is competing. And you've gone on to do a lot of work, you know, with the colleges and stuff like that. So tell me some slam story energy, some slam shit.
Okay, so the first slam I ever did, I was writing poetry and in the community and performing for 4 to 5 years prior to ever getting into a slam. Mainly just because I feel like you shouldn't enter a competition unless you've crafted your skills. And so I was just a performance poet. And I went to the poetry lounge one night, and I really wanted to read a new poem I had. And they were like, it's a slam. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but okay, do I get to read a poem?
Right.
And so they were like, yeah, well, you'd have to read 3 poems. And I go, oh, score, let's do that. I get to read 3 poems. And they're like, well, people score you. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I get to read 3 poems. So I did the slam that night, and I qualified to go into semis, which at the time I was like, yay, what the fuck does that mean? And that just meant I got to read 3 more poems.
Right.
So I was like, I'm all about this 3 poem shit. This is great. So I basically like kind of, I don't even know how I made it on the slam team, but I literally read half of the poems that I competed with, and I was going against, you know, at that time it was the big dogs, you know, the Bridget Grays, the Rachel Cans, the Sekus, the Reeves, all these people, and I was Kat. I wasn't simply Kat, I was just Kat, some random girl that was crazy looking, that wore hemp necklaces that were too tight and had my belly out with some fatigues on. Getting my Aaliyah on, doing poems. And
3 of them.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like, okay. And so I made it through qualifiers, and then I made it to semis, and then we got to finals. So finals, at this time, everybody's trying to give me advice and what I should do and strategy and all this shit. And I literally remember turning to one person and going, look at here. I don't have nothing for your strategy. I'm about to do poems that I like because I like those poems. And and they gonna like them too. And I went through finals, and it was the craziest shit because very rarely are there ties when it comes to the last slot to make it onto the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the first time in I don't know how many years they had to do a slam off, which I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And so me and Rat Pack Slim had to do an extra poem after we already did a good 9 poems to get our asses here.
Mm-hmm.
Against each other, and the judges, for a slam off, they don't throw up a score. They throw up either I like you or I like you. So that shit's real cutthroat. And I was like, oh shit, I'm done. I'm out the game. I read some gangster ass poem off paper and made it to the team. And so my first year I ever tried to slam, I made it to a team.
That's what's up.
Which is crazy.
I gotta cut it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Damn. I gotta learn how the fuck to go beyond 6 minutes, because for some reason after I go beyond that, then the shit, I have to cut it.
Huh.
This is fucked up. Anyway,
Well, just tell me.
we'll be back.
Pick back up.